Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike.
It's Dan. We're shaking our heads, guys. We are shaking our heads because I don't even know what to say about this. I mean, like, I can't imagine this happening to me because I would never put myself in this situation. But I feel like a lot of young men in general in China, go through something like this quite often. Like, and a lot of times it happens in public. And I'm talking about like public men getting beaten in public by their wives or girlfriends. I mean, we also know it happens the other way around, and we don't condone either way. But this one was extremely extreme, I feel.
Well, this is not the first time we see news stories about, like, you know, boyfriends basically getting just slapped around, for lack of a better word, by their girlfriends. This is not the first time.
Right.
We've seen a lot of these before. I can't explain why this stuff happens, but in this particular case, this guy did not buy this girl a new cell phone for her birthday. Instead, he got her flowers or some other stuff, and they're at some, I don't know, internet cafe, it looks like, or some restaurant. And she basically is just wailing on him, like slapping his face. It's like, and then at one point he kneels down in front of her because she's like, kneel down, and he kneels down in front of her, and then she slaps him and
she's like beating him, you know, taking stuff like beating him and cursing him the whole time.
And the people who were there, one of them tried to intervene, and she just pushed him aside like nothing. She pushed him aside, and they're filming, and you can hear the comments when they're filming. The people who are filming, they were like, I can't believe this. I can't believe she's doing this just because of a cell phone. And then they're saying like, I can't believe he really kneeled down. I can't believe he's like taking this.
Well, he's already been taking the punishment. So pretty much at that point, if she's like, do this, do that, I mean, I'm sure he'll do it. I'm sure he'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
And then they go outside. She's like,
it's not
go
over.
Outside. She takes him outside. He kneels down once more, and she continues to beat him. And then they try to. And then one of the guys who were filming says to the other guy, he's like, go, stop, stop. And then he goes again. Yeah. And she pushes him aside again, and it continues.
This is insane. They're in the parking lot, and basically like he's down on his knees again.
Yeah. And I could hear him say, he says that. Well, she says that. You can't even afford a new phone for me. And then he's like, I'll get it for you next time. And then she's like, what do you mean next time? Next time? And she's like slapping him. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the most insane thing.
I feel like this is not, it's not normal to the nth degree when people can act like this. And obviously like men hitting women, obviously like that is so bad. That happens in the US, that happens everywhere. But I think this phenomenon of women beating men happens a lot in China. And I don't know why, but it happens there a lot. Like in a lot of societies, it's usually the guys.
I have a theory.
Yeah, I have a theory too. What's your theory?
Well, this is kind of bad to say, but I'll say it. When we're here in the US, we have kind of a stereotype about China.
Okay.
In terms of the different regions where girls are from.
Okay.
And typically the stereotype is girls from the north, which I think this person was because from the video title.
Judging by her accent
and whatever. Typically the stereotype, it's not all true obviously, but typically the stereotype is girls from the north in mainland China are really tough.
Yeah.
They're like very just tough.
Yeah.
And the guys are kind of weaker.
Yeah. So the women are direct.
Yeah.
They will.
They're more aggressive.
Yeah.
They're like very, you know.
They'll speak their mind.
Right. So that's the stereotype.
And
not
violent?
saying that's not always violent.
Okay.
But that's the kind of the stereotype.
Right.
So I mean, it could escalate into violence if the person is a violent person.
So as opposed to a southern woman who is what?
Who is more subtle, like girls in Taiwan too, or they're more
maybe
like,
Guangzhou. I don't know.
like Southern Chinese girls are considered more like they're more gentle
Yeah.
and like more soft spoken and such.
And this is not absolute. This is a stereotype.
It's
And
a stereotype, but
I've even heard of this.
That's what we think about when we think about Chinese women.
My theory is I mean I do agree with that. I feel like there is a sort of a difference in upbringing a little bit, but I also feel like a lot of Chinese men in mainland China are very emasculated these days, and it's not so much. Maybe it's their fault, maybe it's not, but for some reason, like they just are emasculated by women, and they are like, yeah, man. Maybe they're afraid of losing them because it's so hard to find a woman. So that they're like, okay, I got one, I'll do anything, even if it means basically, I don't mean, like, the guy should never hit her back, but dude, like, if somebody's acting like that to you, you should say something, like, as a spouse, you should be like, you shouldn't treat me like this.
I think there's two things. One is, we're trying to explain why this might be happening, not saying it's right. Secondly, there's no difference between, I mean, there is a difference, but there's no difference in general in terms of abuse is abuse.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
Abuse is abuse. Guys can get abused too.
He is getting abused.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes people are like, well, guys, you can't get abused.
No.
You can't get sexually harassed by a woman. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Guys can. Guys absolutely can.
Right.
So people don't really talk about that because that's usually, it doesn't usually happen.
Correct.
It's rare, but it still happens.
Right. This is definitely abuse. I would say like when she's hitting him, that stuff is not what hurts. It's not like painful. The pain is caused by.
I'm sure it's painful.
I'm sure it can be painful.
Getting slapped by a kiss sometimes is painful.
Okay, yes, I agree. But I mean, like, what does more damage is the psychological. Is like is the yelling, is the insult, is like the demeaning, like the way that she demeans him. Like that to me hurts more. Like, you're useless, you can't even buy me this, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, that really is what, you know what I mean?
For me, regardless of what hurts, it's all wrong. Like, emotional abuse, physical abuse, like, it's just, I'm kind of sitting here, I'm like, I mean, I don't know that guy, obviously, but I'm like, get out, you know? Get out. If this is the way she's treating you when you're dating, can you imagine if you're married?
But that's the thing.
Married?
Like, he's not getting out, or maybe he is, maybe he's not, but like, there's a lot of guys like that, and you see this a lot.
I mean, I hope he gets out, because here's what else I'm kind of worried about. Like, I'm actually scared of people who can constantly take abuse.
Really?
Because I'm more scared of like guys, not like girls. I feel really bad. I feel like you should get out of that situation because. But I feel kind of scared of guys who constantly take it.
Because you think they're gonna blow up.
Because I think one day they're gonna blow up and go kind of psycho.
Yeah,
like, I kind of worry about that.
I could see where you're coming from, and I've heard stories where that's happened, where the guy's like taking one too much abuse because he's keeping it in.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's just bad on all levels. And one other thing is like, the lady, obviously, like, no one taught her how to behave like there is such a thing as, like, for men there's chivalry, right? But I do feel like for women, mothers also teach them how to act ladylike, and that I don't mean like, oh, obey men. No, I mean like there are certain qualities of women that are for women. Yeah, women, you know, acting ladylike. And I don't want to start this whole like, no, they should be like that. No, like, basically, don't act like this. Do not do this. So it's crazy. I mean, I'd be interested to hear what other people's thoughts are about, even a psychologist thought, an anthropological study about why this happens in Asia, especially China. Like, why do we see this? You never see this in America.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's still wrong. I hope he gets out. I hope nobody else, men, women, whatever, hope no one else stays in this kind of abusive relationship. It's just, I mean, it's kind of. I'm just looking at it, watching that.
You're shocked. Like, you're like in shock.
I don't feel good. I don't feel good.
I mean, I see the hits, and I'm actually like, when I'm watching this, I cringe every time she's like, because it hurts, you know? It's just like crazy.
Well, let us know what you guys think about this story. Thank you so much for watching. See you later.